All right, so ready to dive in.
Mm.
Today, we are looking at swimming education in Australia,
Okay.
specifically how teachers are involved in all of this. And we've got research papers,
Hmm.
articles about swim programs and safety initiatives, teacher training,
Right.
all this stuff. And it points to some pretty interesting questions.
Yeah.
Like, we've got declining drowning rates, which is great,
Hmm.
but there are concerns about people actually having the right water safety knowledge. So
Yeah.
that's what we are going to try to figure out today.
Absolutely.
So one thing that really jumped out at me is that Australia has this huge program
Right.
run by the Royal Life Saving Society,
Yeah.
the RLSSA,
Huge.
and something like 10 million Australians have gone through it.
Yeah, it's called Swim and Survive.
Wow.
And yeah, it really shows how seriously they take water safety.
10 million. That's got to be, what, like
Yeah.
a significant chunk of the population? But, I mean, does that actually mean that things are getting safer?
Well, you would think with a program that big drowning wouldn't even be a thing. And yeah, overall, there's been a decrease in drowning deaths.
Right.
But the RLSSA, they're kind of raising some red flags here,
Really?
saying that there are gaps in people's knowledge about water safety, especially with younger children.
Especially younger children. Why is that?
Well, I mean, think about it. Kids, they kind of overestimate their abilities in the water a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And they maybe don't fully grasp how dangerous it can actually be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They're impulsive, they're not as aware of their surroundings.
Right.
And there was this one study that looked at, get this, 50 kilometers of Australian coastline,
Whoa.
and they found a crazy number of hazards
Really?
and not enough safe swimming zones.
So 50 kilometers of coastline
Yeah, a lot of coastline.
with hidden dangers, that's a scary thought.
Right.
Even in a country like Australia with so many beaches.
Exactly.
So what's the solution then? How do we, like, make sure everyone, especially kids, have that,
the RLS,
basic water safety knowledge?
they want to see swimming and water safety education like fully integrated into the school curriculum.
Okay.
And from a young age, too.
Oh, I see. So, like, make it
Yeah.
as standard as learning your ABCs.
Exactly. It's just something you do.
Do you think that would actually, like, change things?
I mean, imagine if you had a generation of Australians growing up
Right.
with water safety just totally ingrained in them from day one at school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the RLSSA wants.
That's a good point.
It's about making water safety like second nature.
It seems like there are already some programs in place.
There are.
Like the Swim Australia program.
Mhm.
It has all these teacher training courses that
Yeah.
seem pretty comprehensive. They have, like, everything from
Yeah.
babies to adults with disabilities.
It's about making sure teachers can handle all sorts of different needs and abilities
Yeah.
so that water safety education is for everyone.
So it's about making it accessible
Yes.
to everyone.
And it's not just about what happens in the pool either. The research suggests that these trained teachers,
Mm-hmm.
they actually help improve safety measures in communities too.
That's great.
Like you see improvements in pool fencing regulations and just general awareness of water hazards.
So it has a knock-on effect.
Exactly. It starts with the teachers and then spreads out.
And there's other programs too, right?
For sure.
Not just Swim Australia.
Uh-huh.
Like, we came across Get Active in Queensland.
Oh, yeah. Get active.
That certifies teachers to lead different sports, including swimming
Yeah.
and water safety instruction.
It's cool, right? It basically takes water safety training
Yeah,
and makes it just a core skill for educators.
right.
Kind of like, how everyone gets certified in first aid.
Yeah, that's a great
It's
book.
a long-term strategy, but it has so much potential.
And it's like, saying to teachers,
Yeah.
if you are going to teach in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
this is something you need to know how to do.
Definitely.
Speaking of knowing how to do things,
Yeah.
we found this image in the research. It's a no diving sign.
Okay.
It's got Dr. Timothy Lynch's name on it,
Oh, wow.
which I thought was really interesting because it shows how experts are involved in designing these programs.
Yeah.
It's not just random rules. There's actual science behind it.
For sure. For
It
sure.
makes you think, if Australia thinks this is so important,
Uh-huh.
what about other countries that have, a lot of water too?
That's such a good question. Maybe it's time we started talking about these initiatives on like a global scale.
I think so. It's a good thought to leave our listeners with.
It is.
So as you go about your day, think about your own experiences
Yeah.
with swimming education. Did it affect how you feel about the water?
Mhm.
And how can we all help to create a world
Yes.
that's safer and, more aware of water safety?
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
We'll catch you in the next deep dive.
See you then.